Hi friends, you're watching movie reviews with Raghuram. In this video, I would be reviewing the Hindi movie Laal Singh Chaddha featuring AamirKhan. Why am I going into the mannerisms of the Amir Khan, the so-called perfectionist Amir Khan? What kind of performance was that? I did not understand totally. The mannerisms and the gestures and the facial expressions he gets, just like a joker, just like a buffoon, made him look silly and stupid instead of making him look innocent and fabulous. If I could end my review here, this is the review of the movie, man. Okay, let me come to all those things later. First of all, let me review Laal Singh Chaddha, the most anticipated movie on the big screen. People were waiting to watch this Amir Khan movie, and there was also a trending hashtag which was very much into the scenario, like boycott Laal Singh Chaddha, boycott Amir Khan for reasons known and unknown. And finally, Laal Singh Chaddha has hit the theaters and has got mixed responses. And let me tell you what is my experience of watching Laal Singh Chaddha. Laal Singh Chaddha is a filmy adaptation of 1994's Hollywood movie Forrest Gump, the most popular movie Forrest Gump. 28 years later, Mr. Amir Khan thinks that he is going to remake Forrest Gump into Laal Singh Chaddha. And he steps into the shoes of Tom Hanks, and even before the shoe fits him, he slips down. The movie starts with a similar note of that feather flying, a beautiful and soul-soothing song playing in the backdrop, and the feather flows and reaches that feather from Tom Hanks' Forrest Gump. It looks like it has re-entered Laal Singh Chaddha and falls at the feet of Laal Singh Chaddha. And then our Amir Khan, Laal Singh Chaddha, opens the Pani Puri box. He eats Pani Puris and starts narrating his story to the strangers in the train. Initially, the strangers and the co-passengers in the train do not feel connected with his story. Later, as he goes on with his story from timeline to timeline, they slowly get connected to his story. So 4 fragments come in his story. Fragment number 1, his childhood and his chemistry with his mother, his hardships, what hardships he has seen in his life during his childhood, forms the first 1/4 of the movie. And later, his connection with Rupa, played by KareenaKapoor Khan. So the childhood chemistry, how Rupa was introduced to Laal Singh Chaddha, and how they became good friends, and how their relationship slowly built and continued into the adolescence and into the old age is another thread of the movie, and it forms the second fourth of the movie. The third thread or the third fourth of the movie is the relationship of Laal Singh Chaddha with Bala, played by NagaChaitanya. Laal Singh Chaddha gets connected with this character Bala, whose ancestors were preparing the chaddis and banyans, and he also wants to do the same. I doubt why he was in the army at all. I also doubt why Laal Singh Chaddha also was in the army at all, and who allowed them to come into the army, I'm not sure, and take them to Kargil war. So that was really stupid. So Laal Singh Chaddha comes into the army just because his mother wants him to join the army, because his ancestors were in the army and had given their life fighting the wars. So he wants to continue the family legacy and what his mother has asked from him to do. And the fourth thread is his connection, Laal Singh Chaddha's story with Muhammad Paji, played by Manoj. And how all these 4 threads, 4 small stories or subplots connected together in the second half, and where does it lead, forms the rest of the story of Laal Singh Chaddha. Before the climax of the movie, you can see Laal Singh Chaddha run for 4 long years. Throughout the movie he is running, but towards the end of the movie he runs for 4 long years, 4 years, so many months, so many days, so many hours. He tells at the end that is the time period for which he has run, covering different corners of India. And the movie sums up into an emotional climax. Coming to the positives of the movie, Laal Singh Chaddha, the adaptation itself is a positive thing. Adapting a super hit movie and a well acclaimed movie like Forrest Gump and making it into the Indian version was difficult, and I should sincerely tell that it was a very good effort by the director and Amir Khan to come up with this particular concept. On the other hand, I felt what was the need of remaking this particular movie, Forrest Gump. It looks like a documentary. So it was that movie was a good hit and connected with the people and the masses long back in 1994. Now we are in 2022, and we should also see whether people would get connected to such a documentary type of storytelling when people want a short and sweet entertainment. The next positive point is the connectivity, the childhood story of Laal Singh Chaddha, his connection and his chemistry with his mother. The mother's role has been played by Mona Singh, and her role is simply fantastic. And the chemistry between little Laal Singh Chaddha and his mother, the chemistry between little Laal Singh Chaddha and little Rupa, and that initial part of 20, 25 to 30 minutes of the initial part of the story in the first half is good. And then the last 15 minutes of the movie, wherein you feel connected with the characters and also the emotions of the characters, but by the time a lot of time has been spent and you are waiting for the movie to finish. I personally was waiting for the movie to finish and quit out of the theaters, so it was too late before I got connected to the actor or the actors or the emotions running there in the movie, which comes towards the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. The role of KareenaKapoor and Mona Singh, as I already said, are comparably good. The man of which angle was it needed at all? I'm not sure. And the next best thing of the movie is fantastic music. The music connects to you. The music also plays the spoil sport in stretching the length of the movie. But nonetheless, the music of the movie, composed by Preetham, is simply fabulous and superb. Amitabh Bhattacharya's lyrics also are really good and soul-soothing. The cinematography and certain locations in which the movie was shot was also good and appealing. And the Pani Puri box, the way AamirKhan gets the Pani Puri box into the train, and also at last the remaining Pani Puris, what he gifts it to KareenaKapoor Khan. So that Pani Puri box, I fell in love with the way the Pani Puri box he has created, and the Pani he carries separately, pours Pani into it and eat. Pani Puri is an emotion for many of us, isn't it? Coming to the negativities of the movie Laal Singh Chaddha's character, AamirKhan playing the role of Laal Singh Chaddha, is itself the biggest negative. As I already said right at the beginning of my review, so right at the intro, AamirKhan looks more of stupid than being innocent. Here we are speaking about a character who is not smart. Not being smart is not equal to being stupid. So probably if AamirKhan would have kept his emotions a little bit subtle, little bit good, so probably it would have worked out for the movie. Not only me, I think many people who have watched this movie have the same opinion. They felt like not seeing Laal Singh Chaddha, but seeing PK or that character from Dhoom 3. AamirKhan as Laal Singh Chaddha should have been the strongest USP of the movie. He should have carried the movie on his shoulders, but he happens to be the lowest point of the movie. The length of the movie is really painful. The movie has been damn stretched especially in the second half. The first half is still bearable. The second half has been stretched to enormous proportions, and once AamirKhan starts running, you will feel very, very tired. You will feel like you are also running with him for 4 long years. And there are a lot of scenes where you would feel how could any character be so silly, so ignorant, so stupid, and so unreasonable when you watch AamirKhan narrate the events from the past. Yes, one more positive point what I forgot was the events in the history of India. So this is a beautiful thing what the movie makers have thought about. So throughout the timeline of Forrest Gump in the original version also, we can see many historical events happening in and around him, and he's a part and component of those events. Here Laal Singh Chaddha is not a part and component of those events, but the events in the history of India are taking place. And those events have been stitched in a good way with the timeline of the story of Laal Singh Chaddha. And coming to the negativities, once again, the dragged second half, stretched second half, as I already said, and a very weak screenplay. The screenplay and the story writing is by Atul Kulkarni, and I feel he should have done a much decent job than this. And before finishing off my review, there is a small cameo by SRK, Shah Rukh Khan. Watch out for that. Again, it was not a brilliant scene for me. It was just a passing affair. And last but not the least, coming to the final verdict and also to my scoreboard, watching Laal Singh Chaddha was not a good experience to me at all. I am thoroughly disappointed. I feel the director, captain of the ship, AdvaitChandan, and AamirKhan, the duo, have missed the track and have miserably failed in remaking and translating an epic Forrest Gump into Laal Singh Chaddha. Recommendation: watch this movie if you're a hardcore fan of Amir Khan. A liberal 5 out of 10 for Laal Singh Chaddha on my scoreboard. Thanks for watching my video. If you loved my video, kindly like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll catch up with you all in my next video with yet another movie review. Until then, do take care. Goodbye. Namaste.